Hey, we're back with Nick and Nam on the deck with Rebalance. And the next question I want to ask you girls is, how has your Rebalance experience been? Nick, let's start with you.
Brilliant.
That's good.
The programs have been brilliant. So I started my first program with Rebalance doing the 12-week program, and that was really good. It was set out so clearly to follow along with. It came with colours, so I was quickly able to understand green light foods versus red light foods, things that in those that don't know that's for foods that you can have all the time and eat whenever, and then you've got your orange foods that are sometimes foods, and your red foods, which are just your occasional treat foods that you'd slot in maybe once, twice a week when it suits. And the ability to have access to you to tell us, to teach us when we can be autonomous with that program as well, so we can chop and change what we eat and when to suit our lifestyle, so it's not so stringent and restrictive. And then we moved on. After that, I did a detox program, and Nam and I were just saying that we absolutely loved the detox program, and it was a real great learning curve to set up some really good habits that are now something that we just do every day. Which, yes, we've certainly taken a shift there for sure. So not only did we feel it physically, and aesthetically probably got some great changes there as well, but we got some really good habits out of that particular program. I've done the 28-day transformation program as well, which I also really loved. That program in itself is set with meals to eat and follow along with in that meal, but because I did the 12-week program before that, I already had established some skills on how to chop and change that around as well. So even though there were certain macros at that time and I was training at that time, I was still able to shift it to suit my own personal needs alongside consult with you. But that program certainly expanded the horizons in terms of different foods, different recipes, things that we love. I've got my child eating, bone broth recipes and things that I would never have thought would be introduced into my kitchen have now become something that I introduce all the time. Yeah, awesome. Really pleased.
And look, before we move on to Nam, and I'll come back to Nick later too with this, but a big part of Rebalance is the broad spectrum of programs and coaching memberships. So yes, we have short-term programs. We have programs that are done for you. So they offer sample meal plans, recipes, grocery lists. If you're currently time poor and you just need something to get going, it's a perfect program, the 28-day program, because everything's done for you. And then we get 4 weeks of coaching with you to try and establish where we can work on the opportunities to try and free up some time so that you can get back into the kitchen a little bit more in food prep and plan your meals and work back to those simple fundamental behaviors that are going to equal things like weight loss, health gain, better energy, better performance, better mindset. So the on-teaching, the on-coaching is there for as long as you need it, with memberships, long-term 12-week habit change programs, short-term total body, mind, and body detoxes, 28-day programs, 21-day program like Nick just referred to before, which has the traffic light system. You can take this wherever you go and implement it on holidays, at home, at the office. It's versatile for all capabilities. So with that said, I'll move on to Nam. How have you gone?
I did my programs in pretty much the same order as Nick did. So I did the 12-week program first, which is a great way to ease into these programs, I felt. There is a different habit or topic that we worked on each week, and you work on it to the extent that's suitable for you. And then you can always come back to any of those topics and any of those habits throughout the 12 weeks. It got me really to focus on my meal plans and what I was doing, and where my free food was coming in. So that I felt that was a really good way to start building up your toolbox to begin
Excellent. With. And girls, how have you found other elements of Rebalance? Because we've got a private Facebook members community that we do live Q&As into. We're doing also monthly coaching calls with the membership. So I'm still in touch with these guys on quite a frequent basis. And my current members at the moment, we're always talking about behavior change, leading into long-term habit change, but we're specific about where you're at and what help you need and what guidance you need. So, how have you found the coaching calls, the Facebook members group, the Q&As? Has all that stuff been a critical part to your journey as well?
I find myself with the Q&A, so I sit down right when you're on live, Jimmy, and sometimes my husband walks through wherever I am watching it, and he can see me nodding away. He's like, "You're just nodding." I'm like, "I'm really understanding. I'm really feeling exactly what Jimmy's telling me right now." I'm like, "Yeah, that makes so much sense. That's me in a nutshell." And then before you know it, you've given us all of these strategies on how we can overcome those little things that we resonate with. I'm like, right, I'm going to go ahead and do that. And it just becomes something that I really tap into. Do you feel the same?
I do.
I get that.
And sometimes when I listen to your Q&As and the kids are around and they'll hover over me every now and then and hear what you have to say. And then they'll say, "Well, Mom, did you look at the label and the ingredients before you bought this? Do you know how to read this?" That's what Jimmy said.
Yeah.
So those things,
Yeah, that's awesome. That. And it's also good to hear. I mean, Nick's made reference to it today, and so has Nam, about kids. I mean, mums and dads, you've got kids, and I think a big part of them growing up and avoiding that big battle of being sedentary, being unhealthy, trying to lose weight. If we can get to them early, and if we can lead by example and teach them balance, we don't have to ensure they're eating like a rabbit or anything like that. It's all about balance. So if they can understand a little bit more about why they eat and how they eat, and a little bit more of the psychology behind it, not too in depth, just simple fundamental behaviors, they're not going to have the fight that we potentially have had. And I've gone through it, the girls have gone through it, and a big part of the way I live now is to make sure that my kids have that good understanding of what good balance is, so they don't have to fight the fight.
Yes.
Yeah. Agreed?
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, that's one of my huge motivators. I want to lead by examples. I want to give my kids all of those tools right now so they are set up for life.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. Just to touch base too on the Facebook page as well. So it's really great that other people are, posting stuff, and then everyone else is sort of sharing. So many people get too overwhelmed and a little bit scared to write something, but I think the Rebalance community is really comfortable with each other now, and we're always sort of writing things through, and it's great because something that I might be thinking and haven't written it, but somebody else has written it, and they're like, "Oh, thank goodness they've written it," and then Jimmy's answering it. So yeah, it's great that we can all share those stories together and get those answers. And and not only that though, if we don't want to put it out there because it's something a little bit more personal, then we have access to you, by private message or via email through the Rebalance system sets us up to have access to you all the time as well, which is great.
Yeah, cool.
That's
well said.
Those Q&A videos, it's an absolute wealth of knowledge. Like every time I'm on the bus or driving in the car and there's things that I've been thinking about, I would put on one of those videos and just listen to that. And also with the questions, it's someone out there may ask something that you didn't even know about or didn't even know they existed. So it gives you other ideas and things to work on.
Yep. That's awesome, girls.